Und somit ein herzlich willkommen wieder zurück zu eurem Folie von Folies Gamerhaus und schließlich endlich zu Part 20 von The Judgment, der letzte Nagel, Finale. Schön, dass ihr noch mit dabei seid. Schön und vor allen Dingen, dass ihr vielleicht kommentiert und abonniert und ein Like da lassen wird und euch der Clip gefallen wird. Hoffe ich doch. Und schauen wir mal, wie es weitergeht und fangen wir doch gleich mit an, was bisher geschah.
The AD-9 conspiracy entangled the ADDC's director Keto, the same man who had unveiled it to the world. An unfinished drug that exacted human sacrifice. Yagami believed he had finally found definitive proof. But even that was swallowed by the darkness. All for the greater good of a drug that would save humanity.
Letztes Kapitel. Der Regen kam. Passt irgendwie mit unserem?
You look worse than I was expecting. I hear Kuroiwa paid you a visit.
Yep. Just him and that baton he's got. Beat the shit out of us.
He took Keto, too. How'd things go with your stuff?
We found Shono's lab, but the police are basically refusing to investigate it.
Why?
Chief Prosecutor Morita's defending 89.
You for real?
Whatever evidence was there is probably long gone by now.
Yagami-san.
Right. There's something else I need to tell you, too.
What is it? This have something to do with Sugiura?
Yeah, that's not actually his name.
Huh? So you're Emi Terasawa's little brother, huh?
Why'd you keep it a secret?
At first, I wanted to make Yagami-san remember
Remember what?
how he let my sister suffer. In my eyes, he was a scumbag who let a murderer walk. The murderer who then burned Emi to death.
Damn, that's heavy.
Ja, ist nicht ganz einfach.
Go on. You don't have to hold back.
Back then, I was just a shut-in fuck-up. My life was in shambles. Emi was still there for me, though, when nobody else was. And then, somebody murdered her. Someone as nice as Emi. Dead. For no reason. But the world doesn't stop for that shit. It just keeps turning. And people go about their business. Over time, I started to hate what our whole society stood for.
So, I'm guessing that's what led you to start that burglary ring?
Pretty much. At the very least, I didn't want to keep living my life for other people. You know, when Emi died, Yagami-san didn't apologize. Not to me, or to my parents.
So that's when you guys first met, huh?
Yup. They were totally different back then, though. Had glasses and long hair, so couldn't really see my face.
That's why I didn't recognize you. Defending a murderer, you're just as guilty as he is. Those words cut deeper than you probably could have imagined. Even so, Okubo insisted he didn't do it. Since I was his lawyer, I couldn't apologize. That would essentially be admitting he was guilty.
What about after the trial?
I didn't apologize then, either. Instead, I ran away. Put it all behind me.
Right. You didn't just walk away. You practically got disbarred. At least Okubo was getting the death penalty. It didn't feel good, but I settled for that.
Then why'd you start hanging around talk again?
Because he found his way back to the courtroom to deal with all this mole business. Even got a Yakuza captain off the hook.
It's not like I suddenly just became a lawyer again.
Sure seemed that way from my perspective. So, I wanted to see where your head was at. Find out if you'd forgotten what you did to Emmy. If you were gonna pretend like nothing happened, I'd make you remember. And I'd make you pay for it.
Teddy, mein Bester. Na, alles Roger bei dir? Roger bei dir?
Yep. I wanted to know what Okubo was up to, too. Find out if he was as afraid of death as he should have been. If anyone was gonna go see him, it was you.
But
Ich
now
hoffe doch.
it's looking more and more likely Okubo was framed.
And I never would have known if I hadn't teamed up with you. Ironic, huh?
Jo, läuft und bei dir? Auch gut soweit. Danke der Nachfrage. Danke der Nachfrage.
3 years later,
Ich habe es endlich geschafft, ins Finale zu kommen. Bin echt happy.
now it turns out
Hoffentlich keine Straßenschlägereien mehr. Ansonsten geht's mir gut.
he's
Selbst?
the one leading the charge to cure Alzheimer's.
Wie war deine Woche?
He gets to go down in history as a hero? For what? Stabbing my sister to death? Burning her body?
Don't worry. Everyone will see him for who he really is once the truth gets out.
You weren't
Ja,
there.
geil. Das
The
heißt,
fucking system
was
is
heißt geil
protecting him.
die Woche? Erzähl mal.
He bent the truth, suppressed evidence right in front of me.
Oder in dem Fall, schreib mal.
What's the point of fighting that kind of battle, huh? It's bullshit! You saw it too, right, Yagami-san? Right?
Wie immer viel anstrengend, viel zu tun und wenig
Look,
Zeit.
Sugiura,
So ist es richtig. So muss es sein. Ich hoffe, du bist in der
I've been
Badewanne.
running away from the truth. I was worried. Worried I wasn't gonna like what I found, that maybe I was responsible for her death. It was killing me. I couldn't bring myself to face it all.
Talk.
If you
Take.
ask me,
Tag.
everyone has something they're trying to hide from themselves.
Oh, jetzt wird's wieder melancholisch.
Sometimes facing your fears is the only way forward. The real reason you came to me is because deep down, you wanted to know the truth. That sound about right?
Mal gleich mitweinen. Menschenskinder nochmal. Immer
If that's
diese...
still true. We have our work cut out for us. We're gonna chase
Nee, nicht
the
mehr.
truth
Bist gerade
as
auf dem
far
Bett
as
und
we
guckst
can,
Folie. Sehr gut. So muss es
even
sein.
if it's in vain.
Danke dir.
Yeah, but all our paths are blocked.
Who the hell cares? We'll blaze our own path then. Right, Talk?
Yeah.
You guys are out of your goddamn minds.
That's Mafuyu. What's up, Mafuyu?
I need to speak with you about Morita.
Wait, you're still here in town?
Yes. I'm waiting at Tender. Do you think you
Die
could come meet
die-
me here?
Die wartet am Ständer, Tender.
What?
Felt like someone was watching me all the way to the bar. I don't believe I'm imagining it.
More of those bums the Ministry of Health hired?
Or maybe one of the chief prosecutor's men.
All right, I'll be right over.
Thank you.
I'm coming with. Higashi, keep an eye on Sugiura while we're gone.
So wie der aussieht, kannst du gar nichts mehr sehen.
Why do... Fine.
Let's hit it.
Let's hit it. Gut. So, nehmen wir uns aber noch hier so einen Klicksbongel mit. Oh. Na, schon mal in die falsche Richtung. Mensch. Das war die richtige Richtung. So. Dann schieben wir uns aber noch was hinter die Kiemen. Warte mal, der Tender war doch hier unten. Da unten, genau. Und auf dem Weg dahin schieben wir uns noch mal zwischen die Kiemen. Aber, wenn wir hier oben so mal... Ach, das ist natürlich ärgerlich. Vielleicht sollten wir... Ah, ich weiß es nicht. Ne, wir schieben uns auf jeden Fall noch mal zwischen die Kiemen. Oder wir gehen noch mal einkaufen zwischendrin. Ach nee, hör doch auf. So, kurzer Prozess. Siehst du, ich wusste, warum wir noch was zu essen holen wollten. Rechts von uns ist ein Supermarkt. Wo ist der Supermarkt? Okay. Ah, hier. Arigato. Neuer Freund. Juhu.
Hm? Hi.
Ja, ich weiß, dass ich eine Schallplatte kriege. Geschenkt. Aber ich möchte auf jeden Fall erstmal so ein Sandwich mitnehmen. Und von denen nehme ich gerne mal 2 mit. Von denen... Was? Reicht nicht oder was? Eieiei. Oh, super. Kleinen neuen Freund gewonnen. Aufstieg. Meine Fresse. Und eine neue LP dazu gewonnen. Na, ist denn das nix? Noch was Neues fürs Büro. Wir müssen hier lang. Macht denn der? Och nee. So. So. Ruhe. Ist, da lang. Halt, falsche Richtung. Neuen Follower haben wir. Fantasy Girl. Hey. Ist aber sehr nice. Vielen, vielen Dank. So. Wo muss er denn hin? Ach, hier zum Lasting Tender. Hey, Freundchen. Schubst du mich zur Seite, du? So, sprechen wir mal. Was gibt's zu sagen? Was gibt's zu sagen?
How did it look outside? Did you see anyone suspicious?
Not particularly. Seemed fine to me.
Mind if I sit?
Vielen Dank für den Follow, Fantasy Girl.
What happened to your
Sehr
face?
nice.
What? This? It's nothing.
You said you wanted to talk to me about Morita?
Yes. Specifically about how he acted tonight. It's hard to imagine the Morita I know doing that. It's almost like he's a different person. Almost like he cared more about politics than the law.
Not surprising. He's right in the middle of this 89 mess.
Thing is, Morita is the reason I decided to become a prosecutor. When my mother was killed in a hit and run, he was there to give me courage, show me a way forward.
Stimmt, Morata. Marfus erste große Liebe.
I've heard.
Aha. Der alte Schlingel.
That said, as for why he has an interest in protecting 89, I might have an idea. About 10 years ago, something happened to his family. Perhaps that's what changed him, made him look the other way on this.
What happened?
Hold on. I'm not entirely sure my theory is correct. It wouldn't be fair if I misrepresented the facts. However, I just spoke to a former police detective who handled that case. I'm about to get the case file from him.
Where?
We're meeting at the children's park. But it felt like I was being followed, so I didn't want to go alone.
So, that's our job here? We're your bodyguards?
Yes, at least that was the plan. But seeing what already happened to you...
You think a couple of scratches are gonna slow me down? We'll do it. Right, Doc?
If you let us see the case file, what do you say to that?
Of course.
It's a deal then. We'll be your escorts.
Oof, that's cold. Extorting the poor girl? Guess chivalry's dead, Mafia-chan.
Begleite Marfu. Na dann ab. Abmarsch
Are you
eben.
ready? The detective is waiting for us.
Na dann mal los.
Thank you.
Ich hätte zwar Google gern nochmal hin hinter die Binde gekippt, aber wenn wir so eilig haben. Kommt bestimmt noch irgendjemand. Irgend so ein Straßenkid.
Well, do you see anyone?
Not yet.
There. Guess you
Na.
were right on the money, Mafia-chan.
Hab ich's doch gewusst.
Looks like they want to fight too.
Yep. Those aren't let's chat over some coffee faces.
Okay, du nimmst die 3 und ich
So what?
hau
Are
mit
they
der
gonna
alten ab.
follow us the whole way like that?
What should we do?
Laufen, rennen.
Back off a bit. We'll take care of them.
Das sieht ja gut schon ab.
Let's go.
Die macht's richtig.
Kaito-san.
You've got this!
Not for you. Not happy.
Thank you, Yagami-kun. Keep going!
Hell yeah!
What? No love for me, Mafia-chan?
Hang in there too, Kaito-san!
Now we're talking. All right. Mafia-chan's watching. So let's not screw this up.
Yagami-kun, fight!
Na, Wakashimatsu. Hey, rechte Hand des Teufels ist aufgestiegen. Level 8, sehr schön. Als ob. Da haben wir ja einen kleinen Duzer. So, ist da noch einer? Ne, das war's doch, oder? Kommt hier noch einer? Hallo? Nimm das Rad mit. Mensch, du, geh aus dem Weg. Ach, wir müssen jetzt laufen. Ah, okay, okay, verstehe. Ach, Gottes Wille, hast du eine Ahnung? Na, du bist ja lustig, Witzepotz. Willkommen in... Aber frühzeitig, begrüßen. Noch so einer. Ah, nicht schlecht. Der Gardinenschlitzer. Der Rohrbogen. Hier ist noch einer, oder? Der nächste. Alle, hier wird jeder bedient. So. Waren doch bestimmt nicht die letzten. Okay, ich nehme die 2 Dicken, du den Rest. Jetzt kommt mein bester Trick.
This is the place. He should already be here.
You said he's an ex-detective, right?
Yes.
Let's roll, Tom.
Uzawa-san, yes?
Yep, that's me.
Huh?
Huh?
Oh, you're the detective from before.
Oh shit, Yagami.
You used to be on the force? How'd you end up so scruffy?
I gotta ask you the same thing.
You two know each other?
Why'd you bring these chowderheads along?
Yagami-kun, he's sort of my boyfriend.
What? Since when?
It's not like that.
Then why are you blushing?
It's comedy hour over here.
So, what do we have on the case?
10 years ago, Chief Prosecutor Morita's older brother strangled their mom to death.
But why?
A caretaker murder.
Their mother was over 70 at the time, afflicted with a severe case of Alzheimer's.
And they were taking care of her.
Yeah. It's hard to say what a dementia patient will do if you take your eye off them, even for a second. She apparently used to leave the stove on after she cooked, or wander out in the middle of the night. None of the homes had any openings for her either. Ultimately, Morita's brother took care of their mom by himself.
Seems he put the burden entirely on his own back. He quit his job and moved in with their mother, all to ensure Morita was free to do his duty as chief prosecutor. He barely took breaks, barely slept, for 7 whole years before the incident.
All he got from his mother in return was abuse. Verbal and sometimes physical.
The hell'd she do that for?
It's a side effect of dementia, though not all patients exhibit it. Some cases can be suppressed, but it doesn't always work out.
At the time of the incident, Morita's brother was in the midst of a serious mental breakdown. If I had to guess, he'd probably been about to break for months.
And the result was him murdering his own mother. Whatever became of him after all that?
Well, not long afterward, he tried to hang himself and failed. So they suspended his sentence until he was more stable.
And where is he now?
It says here he died a year later. By his own hand.
Dude.
After everything his brother did, Morita was removed from the spotlight for a while. But it seems that's all in the past now. Everyone recognizes him as an unquestionable leader on the Force.
So then, Morita blames Alzheimer's for all the suffering his family faced.
Most likely, yes.
The tragedy could have been prevented if only 89 had existed at the time. And once it does, who knows how many situations just like it could be avoided.
With a tragedy like that, no wonder he's defending it.
He's sure as hell not in it for the cash. Not for reputation either. Guy's just doing what he thinks needs to be done.
I suppose I can understand that.
Huh? You can?
Huh?
You think that excuses everything that monster has done? He framed Ayabe, turned a blind eye to Emi-chan's murder, left Okubo-kun out in the cold. All because this fucking drug needs to get fast-tracked? How can you begin to think that's right? How? If Morita can decide what needs to be done, then so can we. I'm gonna protect every last person they've trampled. I'm gonna get revenge for Emi-chan.
Interesting.
What is?
Oh, it's just, really obvious you used to be a lawyer.
Used to? I've still got my badge.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, lay off the gambling, yeah? You lose more than you win.
You know, whatever you say.
Yagami-kun, I think it'd be best if you hold on to these files.
Yota,
Tick,
make sure
tack.
she gets home safe, would you?
Toll, jetzt ist mich alleine oder was? Super, sehr romantisch. Romantik. So. Und nu? Ins Office-Büro oder wohin?
Hey, since we're close, do you mind if we drop in on Saori?
Oh, sure. What's up?
Oh,
What now? Whatever. I was gonna go fill her in on what happened tonight anyway.
why?
Kido never would have ended up in Kamurocho if not for Saori.
A honey trap? You can't be serious.
Geht zur Anwaltskanzlei. Machen wir gleich. Ich geh erst noch einkaufen. Ich brauche noch ein bisschen Medizin. Der Underground Doc. Yagami-san. Informantskasten, mein lieber Freund. Oh. Ich habe nicht genügend Geld, ich hab's mal geahnt. Verdammt nochmal. Verdammt nochmal, ich muss Zeug unbedingt verkaufen. Was machst du denn hier unten? Das ist doch kein Unterschlupf für dich. Komm mit. Eieieiei. Ja. Nein. Hallo, ich muss mal ganz kurz. So. Jetzt sauber. Oh.
What a waste.
Wo rennst du jetzt hin? Abmarsch, her hier. Trab an. Ich gehe mal noch schnell was zu die Binde kippen. Ach, bei dir kann ich das wieder nicht holen. Hier ist nichts mehr. Schade. Macht nichts. Dann mache ich das gleich. Was ist denn,
Huh?
Was ist denn hier los?
Yagami-san, I didn't realize you'd be stopping by.
Awfully suspicious. Just what were you two up to in here?
Not much.
Guess we should go then.
Hey, how did everything go with Keto?
Hold on. I want to know what you two were up to first.
Well, Hoshino-kun was just...
Okay. This is all just a big misunderstanding. Or maybe not. Or maybe it is.
Maybe you'll get further next time.
Is it just me, or is Sari-san enjoying this?
Oh, yeah.
I've heard. It's horrible what happened to Morita's mother.
So the prosecution is all working to protect AD9?
The chief prosecutor is, at the very least.
Ja, und die Hunde haben schließlich eingegriffen und die Schauen aus Labor geworfen.
This is all my fault. I'm the one who told Morita that Yagami-kun would be there. If I had only gone to Izumida instead.
Ja,
Don't think like that.
das ist
There's no
richtig.
knowing who's on what side. We can't trust anyone except ourselves.
But
Can I say something real quick? I'm not sure I'm the best person to be defending Ayabe. Not against an enemy this powerful.
What do you mean?
Agreed. Hoshino-kun can't handle the pressure. It has to be you, Yagami-san.
Oh, ha ha. Real funny.
this isn't a joke. We're dead serious.
Please, Yagami-san. We're going up against the people who murdered Emi-san. Do it for her. For Okubo-san.
And for Shintani-sensei.
Na, aber
It's time
natürlich,
for you
nur
to
für die
show the
beiden.
world what you think is right.
No more running.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'll let Genda-sensei and Ayabe-san know right away. This is bound to make headlines. I can see it now. Disgraced lawyer Yagami-sensei makes his triumphant courtroom return.
Alright, do we really need the disgraced part? But, alright. If they both agree, I'll defend Ayabe. Guess I'll need to start digging up some more evidence.
Noch mehr Beweise ranjoggen. Dies dürfte nicht so einfach sein. So, du bleibst jetzt hier oder muss ich jetzt dich immer noch beschützen?
Shall we? Can you stay with me until I find my taxi?
Wo ist denn ein Taxi? Hier oder was? Sag mal, Taxi war doch hier hinten irgendwo. Da hinten steht da eins schon. Wo bleibst du denn?
Thank you for helping me tonight, Yagami-kun. Huh? One second. It's Izumida. Now that I think about it, he left a message earlier, too.
Did you listen to it?
Yes, he said he wanted to talk. It sounds like he's at Majore.
Mijore, huh? Guess he wanted coffee instead of booze.
What should we do?
You don't have to do anything. Go home where you're safe. Izumida might be on their side too.
But...
I'll go instead.
You? Really?
I'll be fine.
All right. Stay safe out there.
Tschüssle. Gute Fahrt. Dafür gibt es XP-Punkte, die zum Taxi zu begleiten. Okay. Ja. Geht zum Café More. Das Café More? Das war doch unten in der Stadt, oder? Gott sagen. Ach, mittig. Liegt ja fast auf dem Weg. Natürlich.
Really, guys?
Oh, ist geschlossen. Das ist ein Ding. So, den habe ich noch so ein Reisbällchen gegeben. Abend. So.
This again? And stay down.
Dann hauen wir uns halt noch, keine Ahnung, was hauen wir uns noch rein? Die Champignonsuppe, würzige Champignonsuppe. Kleine Portion. Müsste eigentlich reichen, ja. Reicht auch, wunderbar.
Ah, it's the spot.
Arigato. Kommen bestimmt ja die nächsten Spinner. Ich glaube, das war das falsche Haus. Kann das sein? Ah ja. Hier war der Teeladen. Ich muss eine weiter. Nee, bei dir nicht. Ja? Ach, hier. Zum roten Ochsen. Was ist denn jetzt schon wieder?
What's up?
Die Preise gesenkt. Ach, haben wir den vorgeschlagen, dass er Preise senken soll, umso mehr Umsatz er kriegen soll. Vorschlagende Familienangebot einzuführen. Vorschläge Desserts anzubieten. Machen wir das als nächstes. Oh Mann, wir waren noch Best Friends. Aber das war's nicht. Hä? Das muss dann hinten dran sein. Warte mal. Nee. Boah. Ein farbiger. Aber ich glaube, das wird nichts so, wo wir jetzt hingehen. Ne, das ist eine Sackgasse hier oben. Wo ist dieses komische Café? Dann kann es ja wirklich was da oben sein. Bravo. Hallo, Loki. Okay. Aber hä? Ah doch, die ist hier nebendran irgendwie. Na, eine gute Frage, wo das ist. Ich laufe das lieber mal ab. MJ, MO? Das könnte sein. Ja, haben wir wieder Bedrohung. Ja, sind wir wieder nicht sicher auf der Stadt, in den Straßen.
Yagami, what are you doing here?
Käfchen?
Did you come alone? Yeah. Good. I sent Mafuyu home. I could go for a chat and a coffee, though. Sorry, not interested. What did you have to tell Mafuyu? It has nothing to do with you. Oh, then how about I guess? Huh? The reason you wanted to talk to her was...
Sie soll sich Moriarty fügen, um zu gestehen, sie richtig über seine Arbeit zu beschweren. Um die zu gestehen.
You were gonna tell her to join forces with Morita. What? Am I wrong? I see what you're getting at. What happened with the chief prosecutor and that Ministry of Health bureaucrat? It wasn't normal. Not normal? That's a bit of an understatement. They want to protect 89 so bad, they ignored evidence of a murder under their noses. You're working with them too, aren't you? What are you implying? Chief Prosecutor Morita is part of a conspiracy to push 89 through, no matter the cost. Do you have proof of that? This. I got it from Mafuyu. It's a case file detailing a domestic murder within Morita's family. Sound familiar? This is the first I'm hearing of it. I'll give it to you, if you have the strength to fight. Excuse me? What happens if you find out I'm telling the truth? How far will you go, Izumida? Would you be willing to bring your own boss to justice? Of course. Ask 100 prosecutors and they'd answer the same way. Huh. Maybe you're not as bad as I thought. This incident is what gave Morita motivation to support 89. That's how I see it, at least.
Okay.
This is tragic. Yeah. His sick mom strangled to death by his own brother. Morita's doing what he thinks is right in all this. That's why he suppressed evidence earlier. Back at Shono's lab, I mean. The mole killed countless people there. It's only natural there'd be traces left behind. Our case would be practically bulletproof if we found them.
It's just, I can't believe he would do this.
Warum nicht?
The way he acted at the lab, we have to believe he's wrapped up in this. Wouldn't you agree? Izumida.
I guess I can't deny that.
Right?
But if he really is trying to protect 89, how do we stop him? What can we even do?
Well, I was planning to use Ayabe's trial to bring all the dark truths about 89 out into the light. That's why I chased Hamura down. Why I needed to find Shono's lab. Chinose and Morita crushed those leads before they really even took off.
And you don't have the ammo to stop them.
It hurts to hear the truth laid out like that. But it is a relief knowing you're not on their side, believe it or not.
Not sure this is the time to be relieved.
Yeah, I know.
Muss doch noch etwas geben, für den A-Prozess zu tun könnte.
Hey.
Okay.
I was wondering, you think we could get Ichinose to testify? Get him called to the stand?
Under what pretense?
I don't know. Maybe to explain 89? It could be anything, really. He can't say no if the prosecution requests him, right?
Then, what do we do once we have him there?
We corner him eloquently. Shower him with questions until he gives up. Me and you both.
Oh, wait, that's your big plan?
Hey, desperate times call for desperate measures. We don't have a chance of winning if we're not willing to take some risks.
Okay, I'm in. I'll let you know once I've made the arrangements.
Day.
So, hol die Detektivprobe. Also ab heimwärts. Aber oh, ich arbeite in Teilzeit hier. Mein Name ist Schöner. Schön für dich. Und noch eine neue Freundin dazu gewonnen. Menschenskinder.
Hey.
Der George Clooney in Japan. Eieieiei. Leider werde ich den aber noch. Nein, aber wenn Sie einen guten Kandidaten kennen, sagen Sie ihnen, dass ich hier eine Bewerbung offen bin. Sie finden bestimmt einen anständigen Typen, da bin ich sicher. Eieiei. Ach, Unfug. So wahrscheinlich bin ich auch nicht. Er muss humorvoll sein, er muss ein guter Gesprächspartner sein und er sollte mich zum Lachen bringen. Das klingt doch gut. Naja, ich hoffe, der Traummann kommt bald vorbei. Ich auch. Wünsche Sie Glück. Danke fürs Freundschaft. Gastfreundschaft, Entschuldigung. Arigato. Mensch, Kerle, das wäre jetzt wieder was für dich gewesen. Hol dich im Detektivprobe. Komm, die Quatsch. Ach, wir sind ja voll geladen, verdammt. Kein Kaffee, kein Donut, kein nix. Ah, das ist natürlich blöd. Hoch. Entschuldigung, was ist denn eigentlich noch weiter oben noch? War ja noch ein Geschäft? Was war denn hier? Snackbar. Hey, Teddy, du bist weiter aufgestiegen. Level 9. Wird ja immer mehr. Eine leere Flasche gefunden. Ach, guck an. Und da weiter oben? Was haben wir noch hier? Ein paar Büroräume. Abend. Aber nichts wie raus hier. Feierabend, mein Freund. Ganz schnell. So. Ach, du ahnst es nicht. Ah, nicht schlecht. Abkürzung. Ach, hier sind wir wieder. Oh, das war nicht gut. Ich will nicht schon wieder auf den treffen. Weg. Ach, hör doch auf.
What a waste.
So, noch eine Sekunde flippern. Ja. Dann legen wir es Ohr und dann geht's weiter in der Geschichte. Dürfte nicht mehr allzu viel sein. Oh. Ja, verdammt. Ja. Meine. Ja. Hey. Frechheit. Hey. Frechheit. Toll. War ein schnelles Spiel. Na gut. Dann legen wir uns jetzt ein bisschen aufs Ohr. wenn sie fertig geladen hat. Das einzige Nachteil an diesem Spiel, es ladet auch ziemlich lang. Ja, hol dich ein Detektivbüro. Gut, machen wir das. Ruhen wir uns ein bisschen aus. Von einer Ladesequenz in die nächste.
So basically, it's up to Izumida whether or not Ichinose shows at the trial.
Da ist ja die ganze Rasselbande.
The question now is, how do we press Ichinose once he's there?
Before we get too far,
Von der Schuljunge.
Genda-sensei and Ayabe are both on board with Yagami-san representing the defense.
The lousiest lawyer ever. Back in the court.
Looks like it. Now, let's talk about our next steps. First on the agenda, though. What do we call Sugiura now?
That's your next step? It was, Terasawa, yeah?
I'm fine with Sugiura. Why change it up now?
Fair enough.
Speaking of next steps, I'd like to try putting some pressure on Kido again. Maybe we could use the video Saori-san helped us get to force him into testifying for us.
Stimmt, wenn ich Kido auf der Seite ziehen könnte, wäre ich eine Frau für Zeuge.
Good plan. Anyone else?
This doesn't have anything to do with the case, but some shit's going down in the Matsugane family. We can talk about it right after this, Yagami.
Roger that.
What's up?
Just so you know, I'm gonna go talk to Okubo soon. He still thinks Emi-chan's family hates him for what happened. I need him to know that's not true. If that's okay with you.
Sure, I'm fine with it.
So. Wähle den nächsten Halt.
You said something's going down with the Matsugane family?
Yep, it's all pretty much gone to shit. After the patriarch died, everyone just kind of went their separate ways. Especially the younger guys.
Is anyone trying to hold the family together?
Guy named Kengo, yeah. You beat the stuffing out of him once or twice, remember? He was one of Captain Hamura's golden boys. There's kind of something up with him, though.
What?
You'll see when we get there. Want to tag along? Well, you want to check on the family with me?
Na, okay, dann los.
Sure.
Hat er-
Let's do it.
You wanna go see?
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'd like to talk to Kido if possible.
We've got some dirt on him, too.
Yeah, thanks to Saori-san's little adventure. He won't be able to turn us away once we remind him of that. Yagami-san, are you ready to go to the ADDC?
Not just yet.
Nein. Ich will nicht mit Gegenständen schmücken. Ich will erstmal mit der Familie nochmal reden. Mit der Yakuza-Familie.
Sorry for asking you to do this, Yagami. The family's a real mess right now.
Sure you don't want to bring Kaito-san along?
He got expelled, remember? They wouldn't even let him through the door.
Right.
Anyway, let's go. Doubt I can stop them all on my own.
Stop them? What do you mean?
Just come on.
Ich wollte gerade sagen, das war da rechts oben war das doch. Aber hoffentlich das wäre eine Hauptmission, okay. Lauf, Bursche, lauf.
Last week. Really, guys?
Uppala, ein bisschen da lang. Guten Abend. Entschuldigung. Waren da nicht welche? Nö. Ich dachte.
Yo, Kengo.
Higashi Anaki. Finally went and brought me Yagami-san, huh?
Huh?
Easy. It's okay.
Need something from me?
Our patriarch is dead. And I hear you've got the scoop on who did it. You know who the mole is. And I want you to tell us.
So you want revenge?
We don't just want it. We need to get it. All part of being a Yakuza. We're gonna massacre the son of a bitch!
You can't handle it.
The fuck you say to me?!
I've told them that already, but they won't listen.
So what do you want me to do?
I mean, you're a lawyer, yeah? Isn't persuasion your job?
Can't worm your way out of this. Tell us who the mole is! Or do you need a little encouragement?
Kengo!
I'm rebuilding this family one way or another. Now stand the fuck down, Aniki!
Oh, der gute Bonsai-Baum, Menschenskinder. Toll. Gegen Schwerter und Waffen kann man der da nichts aushalten, ne?
God damn!
All right. If you want to know that bad, I'll tell you.
Huh? But...
Who is he?
Kuroiwa, from the Tokyo PD. Organized crime.
Bastard's a cop.
Doesn't end with him, though. Kuroi was just a tool for the people really behind all this. They're not afraid of some small-time Yakuza thugs.
Oh, shut up.
That's why I'm gonna beat them myself. In court.
You seriously think you can do that?
Matsugane-san was like a father to me for the last 20 years. I knew him longer than you guys. I want revenge as bad as you. Maybe more. Can you let me handle this one?
I owe you one, Yagami.
Don't mention it. Later.
Killing Kuroiwa wouldn't accomplish shit. He's just the tip of this whole fucked up iceberg. Let Yagami do this. You might even want to consider helping him.
Gefällt ihm immer noch nicht so richtig. Schmeckt nicht so richtig, glaube ich.
Yo.
Ey, yo. Das ist hier
Sorry,
Scott Hall aus Tokio.
Are you spying on me?
Hey, yo.
Not too hard when you've got a drone.
I guess not, no.
Anyways, with Matsugane-san gone, my family's been drifting in the wind like a kite without a string. Looks like you brought him back down to earth, though. Thanks, man.
You hit your head or something?
Yeah, make your jokes. Just don't say I never said it.
Right.
Den nächsten Halt. Ist erstmal Underground. Gibt's noch einen Eingang? Nee, ne? Das war mal der ähnliche, oder? Warte mal. Der ist nicht so weit weg. Vielleicht klappt's ja. Ach, geh mal doch auf den Tümpel. Kommen die jetzt hier hoch? Nee, ne? Boah.
And stay down. You asked for it. guys?
Jetzt, ich will aber trotzdem nochmal eine Kanalisation. Ah, muss das hier oben dran sein. Laufe ich im Kreis oder was? Wo ist das Scheißding?
What a waste.
Nee. Das war ein Scherz, oder? Ich laufe gleich normal hin. Ach komm, weißt du was? Geh mal da auf den Zinder, ich renn da so hin. Ehe ich da lange suchen muss.
You don't give up, do you?
Krieg mich da eh nie ein. Geh zur Seite. Ja, ist gut.
Yagami-san.
Oh. Danke, das war's schon.
Must we?
Keine Zeit für sowas. Siehst du? Können gar nicht so schnell rennen. Der steht ja immer noch hier. Ja, okay, dann mal los.
Sure, let's do it.
You ready to see Oko?
klar, ich treffe mich mal mit ihm.
Yeah.
Yagami-san.
Not just yet.
Yagami-san.
Nein!
Not just yet. Sorry.
Hörst du nicht zu, Mensch? So, jetzt treffen wir uns noch mit den anderen zwei Hanseln.
Yagami-san, can you give Okubo a message for me?
Sure. What's up?
Once he gets out, I want to go visit Emmy's grave with him.
That's a pretty big deal. There's a lot we have to take care of before we can even get to that, though.
Yeah. Otherwise, Okubo will get executed and never have his name cleared.
We'll fix it. Don't worry.
I hope you're right. We can't let him die in there.
Agreed. I'll give him the message.
Schön. War's das? Ach, hör doch.
Wow, really?
Geh da mal zur Seite, Mensch. Oh.
And stay down.
Warte mal. Ach nein. Ich wollte doch zum Taxi, Mensch. Ja. Ah, jetzt rufen wir unseren Katzenfreund an. Ah, da ist er ja, im Jogginganzug. Hatte zumindest mal Kohle eingebrockt.
You're serious?
Yeah. He told us his name was Sugiura at first.
Fumiya-kun. You know, I only met him once, before Emmy's death. Both of us were a little shy, though, so we didn't really talk. I can still remember how he glared at me during the trial. And how I couldn't even look him in the eye.
By the way, he told me to tell you something.
Huh?
He said he wanted... He wants to visit Emmy's grave with you.
I see. He really wants to do that? With me?
Yeah.
I'd like to take him up on that.
Ayabe's trial is coming up. We're gonna snare the guy behind 89. A man from the Ministry of Health by the name of Ichinose.
Can you do it, though? For real?
Yeah. The prosecutor's on my side, too. Ichinose won't stand a chance. I'll tell them you're innocent, too.
I gave up on that a long time ago. I thought no one would hear me. No matter how loud I screamed. Thought I'd die branded a murderer. But if Fumiya-kun understands, maybe there's still a chance. If the guy who hated me most forgives me, maybe everyone else will too.
I'll get you out of here. I promise.
Tut mir leid, das Rascheln, aber... So, Crazy Taxi. Oh, nix weg hier. Auf diese Bombenmission habe ich keinen Bock. Ja, später vielleicht nochmal. Gibt dir gleich Domo. So, der letzte im Bunde.
Yagami-san.
Auf zur Schule.
Sure, let's do it.
Wähle den nächsten Schritt. Das ist schon der nächste Schritt, du Knallkopf. Der letzte auch vor allen Dingen. Von den dreien.
We'll need to take a taxi to the ADDC, right?
Er meint, ich trag dich dahin? Natürlich nicht. Was ist los, du Bartcup? Du zahlst aber. Toll. Dreilandblechler.
I knew it would all work out.
What do you mean?
Seeing Kido without an appointment. That video has some serious power.
You can thank Sari-san for that.
Afternoon.
Sorry to barge in.
We know you're busy.
Take a seat.
Well, let's get straight to the point. We'd like to call you to the stand as a witness in Ayabe's trial.
That's not possible.
Would this change your mind?
You've made me a very happy man today. Why don't we have some real fun now that the interview's out of the way, hmm? My little minx.
Do what you will.
Wait, really?
Ichinose is unstoppable, and my testimony won't change that. You're up against everyone who stands to gain from 89, including patients who it would save, and their families. You can't win.
Not how things stand, no. But that's exactly why we need your testimony.
I have no obligation to help you. If you truly want to release the video, release it.
You are aware of the consequences that would have, right?
I'll become the laughing stock of the scientific world. My career will be over. But I'd rather that than make an enemy of Ichinose. I'm not ready to die just yet.
Das ist eine gute Frage. Keine Ahnung.
Did you talk to Ichinose after Kuroiwa rescued you from the arcade?
I have nothing to say about that. Now leave me alone.
Okay.
Are you really that scared of him?
Of course. Losing my job is a much more appealing proposal than losing my life.
Nobody's dying if we can help it. We can protect you.
Don't you understand? No matter what I say, you can't win this trial. But if I open my mouth, I'll have to live the rest of my life in fear. Until the day they finally finish the job.
Okay.
How can we change your mind? You're in the middle of this whole 89 mess. But you never actually killed anyone yourself. We might be able to argue for a lighter sentence.
Absolutely not. You can't convince me to sign my own death warrant.
Damn it. We're not getting anywhere.
You shouldn't fight a battle you can't win. I would never have gotten where I am today without that bit of advice.
So you don't think we can beat him?
Do you even have a shred of evidence? Oh, well, I suppose you did. But Ichinose-san took it right out of your hands. Can't you see how weak you are compared to him? You don't have a chance in hell of winning this case.
Well, you're right. For now, I guess. It's easy to tell how the case will go. We just don't have quite enough evidence yet. There's no way we'll take down Ichinose with what we've got at the moment. I appreciate the advice.
Not yet, Yagami-san. He's trying to take us for fools. I can make him talk for sure. All we have to do is push the video to...
We'd be wasting our time.
You can't say that if you don't try. Come on, Yagami-san.
I said we're not doing it.
Please, just give it a shot. If the video doesn't work, then we'll find some other way to...
There's no point.
No point? That's enough of the tough detective act. You can't run.
Hoshino! I never said anything about running away, okay?
But... I don't want to lose. I thought I could help you.
Having a falling out, are we?
Shut up!
Da geht er, der Schuljunge mit seinem Rucksack.
Once I have my proof, I'll be back.
And when you do, I will gladly cooperate. Not that I'm expecting much.
Hm. Ach, ist es ein Gelaufe hin und her. Kommen da irgendwelche Spinner hier? Verkaufen. Ah, nee. Thunfisch nehme ich noch. Ja. Hier, Silberteller. Ja.
Welcome back, Yak.
Hey, man.
How's the prep going for Ayabe's trial?
Not bad. I've gone everywhere I wanted to go, at least.
So, you ready to do this then? There's no going back after this.
Well, when you put it like that...
So, you ready to get this rolling?
Nagel on.
Yeah.
Gotcha. By the parent.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm just the messenger. Catch you later.
So, und jetzt? Ah, jetzt müsste die Anwaltskanzlei gehen. Und wieder irgendwo hinlatschen. So, mal den größten zuerst nehmen.
Let go! Hey. Nice try, jerk. What a waste. Oh!
いらっしゃいませ。
Good stuff. Back to it.
ありがとうございました。
Ja, ja, mach's gut.
Wow, really?
Schlimm, 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 schlimm. Links.
Yo.
Hmm?
Hey,
You get
yo.
called in too?
Yep. Just walked in.
Is Hoshino-kun not back yet?
Not yet, no. Is something the matter?
No, not really.
Over here, Yagami.
Something you wanted to discuss, Genda-sensei?
No, not me. Him.
Prosecutor Izumida.
They've got men monitoring every nook and cranny of your agency. Figured it'd be safer to talk here.
Jemand so bekommen muss, das was bedeuten.
More bad news?
Is that how you treat a guest? And no, it's good news.
Guess it can't be all bad.
Ichinose will testify at the trial.
So, you convinced him, huh? Run into any trouble?
No, it went fairly smoothly.
So, you want me to explain 89?
Yes, at the upcoming trial.
And by that you mean the one for the murdered lawyer?
That's right. Before his death, that lawyer made a phone call to Dr. Shono. Of course, we have no reason to believe that call had anything to do with the killing. Dr. Shono, an 89, involved in a murder? It's quite far-fetched, if you ask me.
A preposterous notion.
Indeed. However, that doesn't change the fact that the call was made. And so we'll need to explain in court just why it can't be related. And don't worry. You won't need to say a word about the call itself. Just explain the situation. 89 is a drug of global importance, and Dr. Shono and his team have put immense effort into its development. Once you've explained, I'm sure it'll clear the air.
Yes, I see. I'm not sure I can portray it accurately, though. I'm not a scientist, after all.
If you would be more comfortable, we could always call Dr. Shono to the stand. But his language may in fact be too complicated. I'm not sure our jurors would understand. If possible, I'd prefer it were you up there, Ichinose-san.
You have a point. It would be foolish to take up Dr. Shono's time with such an insignificant matter. Very well, I'll do it. Contact the Ministry of Health when the trial date is decided.
Thank you very much, sir.
If you'll excuse me, I have another meeting to get to.
So war das Gespräch jetzt aufgezeichnet. Kam mir was zuvor. Hm?
Nice going. You made it sound like if Ichinose didn't testify, Shono would.
It worked.
Ichinose didn't want to risk Shono getting in there and slipping up. Can't trust anyone to do it but himself.
Sehr gut, der Boss hatte angewiesen, jetzt wird es ernst.
Good work, Izumida. Turns out you can be pretty devious when you want to be.
Devious? Really?
I'm kidding. Really, I can't thank you enough. We'll have Ichinose out in the open thanks to you. All we have to do now is find a way to corner him.
What about Hamura from the Matsugane family? Can we ask him to testify?
He's still on the run. Guy couldn't even be bothered to come to his patriarch's funeral.
Of course not. How could he after what he did? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we just grab Kuroiwa and get him to confess to being the mole?
You do remember the beating he gave you last time, right?
I let my guard down, that's all.
Cut it out, you two.
Come on, guys. We've got Ichinose right where we want him. We just need to figure out what to do next. You're not gonna win empty-handed, you know.
It's Mafuyu. What's up?
Ayabe's casino is getting raided by the police.
Lamont? Now?
Yeah. They just started. Morita is setting the wheels in motion. They've already arrested most of the employees.
I get it. It's a character assassination. A crooked cop running an illegal casino. No surprise if he commits a murder, too.
The chief prosecutor is hitting us where it hurts.
Right.
Die werden sich wohl nicht kampflos aufgeben. Ah ja.
Just wanted to give you a heads up. So, how's it looking, Yagami-kun? Do you think you can win?
I'll do the best I can. Good news is, I have a lot of help. Thanks for the call, Mafuyu.
Of course. See ya.
Morita's here in Kamurocho, blowing the lid off Ayabe's casino.
In that case, I'd better get going.
He's not gonna come here.
Well, better safe than sorry.
Huh. If they're raiding the casino, Kuroi was probably there too.
What do you want to do, Doc?
The chief prosecutor's made his move. Probably wouldn't hurt to stop by and say hello. We know all about him now.
You sure this is a good idea? He's not the kind of guy you mess around with.
Don't worry. We just want to check in.
Puh, das zieht sich jetzt aber noch. Ich denke, es geht jetzt langsam mal vor Gericht. Alter Falter. Hoch.
I'm Ayabe's lawyer. Let me through.
Sorry, no lawyers allowed yet.
Well done, but let him pass. I'll vouch for him personally.
Chief Prosecutor?
Thanks.
Were you aware there was an underground casino hidden down here, Yagami-san?
Wow, I had no idea.
Our friend Ayabe was really something, wasn't he? Who would have thought he'd take bribes from an illicit underground casino? Not to mention selling confidential police intel to the criminal underbelly of this town. Shintane-sensei surely stumbled upon Ayabe's secret. And so Ayabe killed him to make sure the truth stayed hidden.
Der hat auch so eine
With the police issued
Blume da, also Anstecker.
I see. That's the story the prosecution is telling, huh?
We can speak further once we get inside.
I've learned a lot about you, Chief Prosecutor. About the tragedy in your family 10 years ago.
Then someone has betrayed me?
Someone you betrayed. Someone who trusted you for years. I have to say, it was strange seeing how you behaved in Shono's lab. A public prosecutor, the so-called defenders of justice, chose to protect 89 over the sanctity of the law. I think it's time you drop the act.
My mother, she was afflicted with early onset Alzheimer's. The disease progressed quickly. Not long after she started showing symptoms, she couldn't even recognize my face. Whenever I went to visit her, I was greeted with, "Nice to meet you," as if she didn't know who I was. Occasionally she'd yell at me, accuse me of being a thief or a murderer. Watching my mother's mind deteriorate, well, it nearly broke me. And yet my brother continued caring for her. He was there when I couldn't be, all by himself. When we were young, he and I had both dreamt of becoming lawyers. He devoted himself to his studies, far better than I ever did. Practically worked himself to the bone. Yet, ultimately, he never managed to pass the bar. I can only imagine how he felt when I passed on my first attempt. And yet, he was happy for me, almost as if my success was his. He was truly a good man.
Please, go on.
When we learned that my mother had Alzheimer's, my brother was devastated by the news. He took it hard. I, on the other hand, was filled with internal conflict. I was torn between caring for my ailing mother and continuing my burgeoning career as a lawyer. But my brother could sense how I felt, and then he said to me, "Don't worry. Leave Mom to me. Your success is all that matters. As long as you make it, my dream comes true too." And so, he continued caring for our mother for 7 long years, 24 hours a day, a woman who couldn't even recognize him as her own son. Whereas I ran further and further away. But somewhere, deep down in my heart, I knew it couldn't continue that way. That someday he would break.
And the regret you feel, that failure, is what led you to 89. When was it?
After Shintane-sensei's murder. Not long after, Vice Minister Ichinose summoned me personally to fill me in on the details.
He did? But why?
Ichinose-san predicted that the prosecutor's office would discover the dark truth about 89 before long. And upon looking into some family histories, he discovered what happened to my mother. When he realized the extent of it, he knew I would be sympathetic to their cause. His proposal was quite clear. 89 was a groundbreaking new drug, meant to save countless suffering patients and families. But if it was to see the light of day, I would have to look the other way for a while.
So bringen es selbst die besten Absichten den falschen Weg.
Prosecutor Morita, Have you heard this saying before?
Hmm?
Fire tempers iron, and temptation steals the just. If someone told you they knew how to make mankind immortal at the sacrifice of a few, you would have looked the other way no matter how many people had to die.
I do feel guilt. I can't deny that. That's the only reason I'm still here.
Shono has killed people to cover this up. Emi Terasawa died for it. What about her? Did she deserve that? Meanwhile, Shinpei Okubo was falsely convicted and sentenced to death. He wakes up every day not knowing if it's his last. What did he do to deserve that? Your guilt is nothing more than an act. Do you even realize what it is you're doing?
That's enough.
How do you think your brother would feel if he saw what you were doing now? Huh? Tell me, Morita!
Shut up! Just shut up!
Schatten ab.
If you want me to shut up, you're gonna have to kill me. Morita.
Tonight he's dead.
Okubo-kun and Ayabe are depending on
Heute
me.
Nacht wird er Vater.
Emi Terasawa deserves justice too. And I'm not stopping until I get it.
Hey, Tak. Kuroi was here.
Na wunderbar.
I believe that's enough, Morita-san. Long time no see. Seems you're already back in action. Guess I went too easy.
You little...
So, another 2 versus 1 fight? Is Yagami joining us?
What are you doing here?
I suggest you turn a blind eye to this. You're good at that, aren't you?
Nett.
Kaito-san. Think you could stay out of this?
Like hell I will.
You already had your turn. Kuroiwa killed Matsugane-san.
Na toll.
And well, it's about time I pay him back for what he did.
Touching words, Yagami-san. But now is the time for action. And don't worry. I won't arrest you for obstruction on this.
Don't talk to me about arrests. You're not even a cop. You're a goddamn assassin!
Na fein. Ich freue mich jetzt schon drauf. Boah. Ich hab geschafft. Yay. Beim ersten Mal. Ja.
Done with this!
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Calm down. How would you even cover this up? There are limits to how much protection I can offer you. You have no reason to be here.
Kaito-san, let's go.
Oh, ich dachte, wäre schön. Eieieiei, man kann so wie ein Kaugummi ziehen. Ich dachte, das wäre jetzt schon... Eigentlich war das Finale, dachte ich. Bloß noch den vor Gericht bringen. Beweise sammeln. Haben wir ja jetzt ein bisschen was im Petto. Hm.
Get back! Everyone step away, now! Shut your trap, asshole! What station you from? Think you're tough shit, huh? What's going on in there?
What are they doing? Those guys are Matsugane family, aren't they?
Damn right. They're probably worried about you or something. Afraid the 89 boys would come try to erase you, you know?
What?
Hey, there he is. Come on, we're out of here.
Hoshino-kun.
Yagami-san. When I heard you were here with Morita and Kuroiwa,
I get it. You're the one who called Higashi over, aren't you?
That's right. If I hadn't, who knows what dirty tricks they would have used. I couldn't take that risk.
I appreciate that, Hoshino.
And I'm really sorry for what happened in Kito's office. I was out of line. You deserve trust, and I didn't give it. Yagami-san, I messed up. What I did was unacceptable. Threatening a witness is just... It's not how I want to go about winning this case, Yagami-san.
Got one thing to say, Hoshino.
What?
Iron burns temptation, while the just are often tested by fire.
Huh?
Hahaha. Scheint doch das Ende gewesen zu sein. Hatte ich doch recht gehabt. Es geht vor Gericht. Da 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 dam dam dam.
Wait! Get back here!
What's going on?
Der Mantelman.
Hey, what the hell was that?
He's got a black raincoat.
Who are you?
What the...
Na toll. Kriegt man es wieder nicht mit, wer es ist. Ein Monat später. Der Morgen von Apes Verhandlung.
Tori wrote this, huh?
Yep. Said he tried to get it out just in time for today's trial.
Illegal human experiments discovered in Kamurocho. Dementia drug AD9, the focus. These pictures.
I took him when we broke into Shono's lab.
Nice work.
Guess it's almost time.
Geh vor Gericht.
It's time. Give him hell in there.
I will.
Gut. Wenn ihr mich vorbeilassen würdet. Auf
Good luck
geht's.
today, Yagami.
I don't know.
That's exactly why it'll...
Defendant, please state your name and date of birth for the record.
Kazuya Ayabe. Born on July 2nd, 1983.
Das ist jünger als ich. Bezirksgericht von Tokio.
And where are you currently residing?
This is the first trial for the murder of Masamichi Shintani. The defendant, a crooked cop by the name of Kazuya Ayabe. The bullet found in Shintani's body bore the rifling marks from Ayabe's gun. That's the most significant piece of evidence they have against him. But that was all a cover-up perpetrated by the mole, Kuroiwa. Ayabe is innocent. In other words, this trial is little more than a farce. At least, until this very moment.
The prosecution moves to call a witness to the stand. Someone who can deny this case's link to the ADDC. The Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health, Kaoru Ichinose.
The ADDC bears most of the responsibilities carried out by the Medical Institute. Most notably, the development of AD9, which was announced to the world last year. Director Kido has done a fine job overseeing its evolution into a matter of national import.
Can you tell the court what exactly AD9 is?
It's a revolutionary drug meant to be a complete cure for Alzheimer's disease. Given how pressing the drastic increase in dementia patients is, we've placed great faith and hope into AD9.
Thank you. I have no further questions. Members of the jury, despite the defense's claims that the ADDC is somehow related to this case, the prosecution holds that it is an absurdity to link such a reputable institution to the horrible murder that took place not long ago. That is all.
You may begin the cross-examination, counsel.
Jetzt kommt's.
You're the Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health, correct? Pretty high rank.
That is what the title implies, yes.
You must have really stood out to attain that position. Maybe you did something extra special that got you noticed?
I'm not sure how this is relevant to the case at hand.
Oh, come now. Why not indulge him?
What?
Think back to 2002, the year the Medical Institute was founded. I hear you spearheaded that whole operation. As a result, many new organizations came into being, the ADDC included. Naturally, many Ministry of Health officials welcomed this move because... You gave hope to a nation of aspiring doctors and researchers. It's truly incredible how you shot up the ranks.
You have a point there, but...
What are you getting at?
Huh?
This is no time to be stroking his ego.
However, the good times didn't last forever. In the months and years after its founding, people slowly caught on to the Medical Institute's total lack of output. And with the country in a recession, they started zeroing in on the Institute's funding. The vast amounts of money being poured into supporting it seemed like nothing more than a waste. Before long, closing the Institute outright didn't seem out of the question. Plans were even set in motion to redevelop the land once it was gone. Rumor had it that Minister Kazumi had actually approved those plans internally.
Are all your arguments going to be based on hearsay?
Speaking of hearsay, Kamurocho's been buzzing with talk of this murderer who gouges people's eyes out. That killer is an assassin I've termed the Mole. But the truth of it is, those murders are the result of human experiments for 89. Carried out in a secret lab in the heart of the city.
This is all purely gossip.
Members of the jury, 89's development is about to enter the clinical trial phase. However, ADDC researchers have already carried out clinical trials behind closed doors. Several people have died as a result.
What?
Of course, they tried to keep that a secret, but it eventually found its way out. And I have the evidence to prove it.
Wie kann ich das beweisen? Das ist eine gute Frage. Das liegt in der Beweise. In der Anrufliste befindet sich alle Kontakte, den schon Tage am Tag seiner Ermordung angerufen hat. Sein letzter Anruf ging an den Mitarbeiter des... Vielleicht der da?
Take a look at this. The victim in this case, Shintani-sensei, was inching ever closer to the truth. That's why he called the ADDC. Isn't that right, Ichinose-san?
Please elaborate to the jury what exactly you mean by that.
Not long before his death, Shintane-sensei was told a secret by Captain Hamura of the Matsugane family. A secret that led him right to the ADDC.
Das Geheimnis der Stärke von Oama erfahren hatte, war ein Geschäft mit Auftragsmorden der Gamma-Welle. Schon, also bin ich den Clan-Morden?
This secret was about Captain Hamura's
Ich vermute es mal.
The truth of it was, the Matsugane family, a Tojo clan subsidiary, was killing people for money.
I thought this was about the ADDC. But what you just said would be more pertinent to the Matsugane family.
Wait, did I...
Yagami-san, come on.
Ich habe einen Fehler gemacht. Ich muss nochmal von vorne anfangen. Ah, verdammt nochmal.
Apologies. If you'll allow me to start again. ADDC researchers were carrying out clinical trials behind closed doors in order to speed up the development of 89. Of course, they tried to keep that a secret, but it eventually found its way out. And I have the evidence to prove it.
Probier's nochmal mit dem.
The victim in this case, Shintane-sensei, was inching ever closer to the truth. That's why he called the ADDC. Isn't that right, Ichinose-san?
Please elaborate to the jury what exactly you mean by that.
Not long.
So. Also oben haben wir den gemacht. Der Plan zur Ermordung und Stellvertreter den Direktors. So, jetzt das nächste, was ich jetzt noch denke.
Former vice director of the ADDC? At least I think it was.
Moment, oder wirklich nicht.
You think?
Oh, not at all.
Yagami-san.
Okay, ich habe einen Fehler gemacht.
ADDC researchers were, of course, and I have the evidence to prove it.
Okay, also es muss dann das schon sein, oder lege die Weise vor?
Take a look at the victim, and that's why he called.
Please elaborate to the jury what exactly you mean by that.
Not long before his death, Shintane-sensei was told a secret by Captain Hamura of the
Schwöres Verbindung zum Gehör im kleinen Morden. So, jetzt haben wir da noch. Das klingt dann besser. Okay, dann war's das da.
And so, Shintane-sensei called the center and asked specifically for a researcher named Shono. The man spearheaded
Verbindung zu Kurioten und kleinen Morden. Okay.
Enough of this nonsense. Human experimentation. Don't be ridiculous. What kind of trial is being run here? How can he say whatever he wants without a single piece of evidence? Why doesn't the prosecution stop him?
Sorry. I was enjoying hearing what he had to say.
Have you lost your mind?
Ichinose-san, I'm not finished with my line of questioning.
Excuse me?
Actually, it's more of a confirmation than a question.
Zeit ihm zu erledigen.
Do you know who Shinpei Okubo is?
Yes. He's the murderer you set free 3 years ago.
I set him free, yes. But he's not a murderer. The one who actually killed Wakusan and Emi Terasawa was the same Shono I mentioned earlier.
This garbage again?
Don't act like you don't already know all of this. You're just not coming clean. Even though Okubo-kun's sitting on death row, waiting for the day they decide it's his turn.
Enough! I was only asked here to explain to the jury about AD-9 and the ADDC. How dare you treat me like this?
You and Shono hired the mole to murder for you! That was the only way you'd have patience for your underground human experiments. And all to protect the interests of AD-9.
You can't make these claims without proof. Show me your evidence.
If you say so.
What?
Just the other day, someone reached out to me over in Kamurocho. They wanted to entrust me with a crucial piece of information.
Hmm?
Hab ich aber jetzt rumgereizt, aber es war alles ziemlich dichte Beweise.
Who are you? What the...
Captain Hamura? The hell are you doing here?
Sorry sight, wasn't it?
Huh?
Matsugane's funeral. They had to go and use HQ's gigantic hall. Made it look like barely anyone even bothered to show up. Wish I could have gone and lit some incense. But if I did, Kuroiwa would have taken me out.
Yeah? Then what are you doing here?
Tak, you found Shono's lab, right? Good job. Those bastards never wanted to tell me where it was. Didn't think you could do it.
Maybe. But Ichinose covering the whole damn thing up.
Out of options, huh? I thought giving up wasn't your style. Here's the deal. I got something for you.
What?
Gotta settle accounts.
What accounts?
Never mind. But holding on to this does nothing for me. So, I want to help you out here. Just this once. For the boss, give him justice. If there was any justice, I'd have gotten shot. But the boss paid the price instead. Fucked up, yeah? None of this was his fault. I already lost my chance. You, on the other hand, still may have one.
Hamura.
This is it. You're the boss's only shot now. Put an end to this. Once and for all. I think you'll like what you find on here. This is decisive evidence. It'll nail Ichinose.
Ich glaube, der hat doch ein Gespräch aufgezeichnet vielleicht.
Your Honor, I offer the data I received into evidence. take a listen to this.
Did you tell someone about Shono? That lawyer, Shintani. Word has it, he just called the ADDC.
Well, yeah, I might have said something, but it's fine. Shintani will keep quiet if I tell him to.
How can you be so naive? This is unacceptable. You must deal with this, Hamura-san, immediately. Do what needs to be done. Have Kuroiwa-san handle the dirty details.
It'll cost you another 100 mil.
This mistake was yours, and yours alone. Don't anger me further.
This Kuroiwa-san is a Kamuro PD detective. But when he's not out on his beat, he works as the Mole, an assassin for hire. In this call, you used Hamura to order Kuroiwa to murder Shintani-sensei. You should have known better, Ichinose-san. I imagine you must have been pretty panicked to use such an insecure method.
Audio means nothing. Forging it is a simple task. You're framing me.
So, you think that's not enough?
That's right.
Then what if I had a material witness who could attest to its validity?
I'd say, bring them.
Perfect. Just a minute. Not who you expected? Witness. Who is speaking in this recording?
I'm one of them. The other is Vice Minister Ichinose here. Without a doubt.
Yes.
Order in the court.
Izumida, where is the chief prosecutor? Is he aware of this farce?
About that, sir. The chief prosecutor won't be joining us in court today. Or ever again.
What?
It turns out he's been abetting crimes for some time now. And so, we're charging him with abuse of power.
Kido's up next, right after my testimony.
What?
The doctor sides with whoever he thinks will win. And look at that. Guess he thinks you're on the losing side.
Listen here. You pushed countless people down on your way to the top. Now it's your turn to fall, Ichinose. Kaito-san!
Already going.
What the hell was that about? Where's he going? Hoshino-kun, it's all on you now.
What?
You've always wanted to handle a case on your own, right?
Huh?
Sorry to spring this on you, but good luck.
Please, don't go!
I know you can do it, Hoshino-kun. It's time you graduate from the sidekick role, you know?
But...
Are you ready to proceed?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Kaito-san.
Got this asshole handing out orders over the phone.
Orders? What did he say?
He told his boys to eliminate the mole.
They'd eliminate him? Wait. They're gonna kill Kuroiwa.
Guess in the end, he's just a tool for them to, you know, dispose of. But we're done for if we let that happen.
Yeah.
He's gotta be over in Kamurocho. Come on. Sugiura's pulling the car around now.
Damn it.
Das ist aber ein Finale, was sich gewaschen hat. Mein lieber Scholli.
It's Yagami. I'm almost back in the city. Any idea where Kuroiwa is?
Not yet. We're having trouble getting in touch with him. Oh, and I'm not sure if this is related, but there's been a shooting in Theater Square.
What?
I wonder if Kuroiwa is involved somehow.
Jetzt hat er auch noch eine Waffe. Ist ja unglaublich.
It's Yagami.
Stop! Come on! He's over here!
These guys don't seem like regular thugs.
Guess these are ministry boys, huh?
If they get in your way, don't hesitate to make them pay for it. Now don't stop till you get to Theater Square!
I've been waiting for this.
You deaf? He said stop!
Lass mich raten, dass wir wieder übernehmen. Aber natürlich.
Damn it! These guys won't stop coming on us! I meant at us.
Dude, that's gross.
Anarchy.
Come on! That ain't what I meant!
Keep your head in the game, Kaito-san. Now let's go!
This is fucked up. How much you want to bet this is Kuroi was doing?
Yeah, he did this. Killed them before they could kill him.
And where'd the bastard run off to?
Hey.
Sir, you can't just... Let's all just play nice, okay?
Tell me, where did Kuroiwa go?
That bastard. He's on his way to the ADDC.
What?
Probably gonna kill Shono. Revenge for getting targeted. He's gonna destroy AD9 and ruin every last person who supported it.
So all the assholes are gonna take each other out, huh? Not bad.
No. If Shono dies, it's done. The whole case will end up going cold. And then we'll never be able to clear Okubo's name.
Huh?
So let's go. Hey, Mafuyu, can you send some officers to the ADDC? Shono's in danger. Get him somewhere safe.
Man, this shit's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And keep an eye out for Kuroiwa. He's getting desperate.
That asshole already here?
What's going on? Where's Kuroiwa?
Please, stop!
It's okay, I'm a lawyer. Is Dr. Shono out of danger?
We're not really sure of the situation ourselves.
Didn't somebody tell you what's going on here?
We've got orders coming in from all sides. I don't even know who is in charge here!
Ach nö, die schon wieder.
Kuroiwa!
You're Yagami, aren't you?
Out of my way.
Not so fast. We need to check your possessions. Lift your arms up, now!
And why's that, officer?
To protect Dr. Shono from thugs like you. Now do it!
Kuroiwa's the one going for Shono. You can't let him get away with this!
Why won't you listen to us? Kuroiwa's the one you want. He's got a gun.
We're done here!
Kaito-san, Kuroiwa's heading for the research wing. We can't let him reach Shono's lab. Now let's go!
All right. If you say so!
Corner him!
Looks like we're all getting arrested today, huh?
Yagami-san, I'll see you in court!
Kuroiwa!
Come on, Tak. We'll deal with him later.
All right. Looks like there's only one way out of this, guys. Let's go!
Wird langsam ein bisschen viel.
Damn it.
Leave this to us. You go.
Just get a move on already. Sugiura-2.
Tak, give that son of a bitch what for.
So you want to fight, huh? I don't have time for this bullshit!
What a waste.
Damn it! The door's not opening. It's locked.
Locked? When I was here with Emi-chan.
That's the research wing, where they develop all our new drugs. You can't get in without a gold key card, though.
We need a gold key card. Let's find one.
Security system activated. 3 minutes to full lockdown.
Hey.
Der wird keine haben. Hä?
We're looking for a gold one, right?
Uh-huh.
Ja, also. Können wir nirgendwo heraus, wa? Ah, da hinten. Finde eine goldene Karte.
Uh-huh. Suspicious.
Security minutes.
Sorry, buddy. I need to borrow this for a bit. I found one. We can get through the gate.
Look! On the Skyway! The press is murdering them!
We gotta put an end to this. Kuroiwa! Wait!
Hey, you okay, man?
We're gonna need another way in. What about the underground parking lot? The same way we got in before.
Good idea, Yagami-san. That'll get us into the hospital. We can get to the research wing from there. Especially now that we have the key card.
That might work.
Then we've got to try. We can't let Kuroiwa get away with this.
Damn right.
Jetzt hauen sie ja nochmal alles raus hier oben beim Finale. Ach komm schon.
You're, you again. Just keep trying the short straw, huh?
Don't give me your snark, punk. You're done for!
Keep it up!
Yeah,
Komm schon. Oh. Schön. Jetzt habe ich gar nichts mehr. Ich irgendwie muss nur gucken, dass ich da irgendwie anhalte. Vielleicht gibt es ja irgendwo einen Snackautomat, wo ich noch was rausholen kann.
I don't know how long I can keep doing this. But we can't stop. Not now. Yagami-san, what's wrong?
Just a little dizzy.
No surprise there. Are you okay, Yagami-san? You're kind of bleeding a lot.
Don't know. I'm not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel just yet, though.
Maybe you're better than you look. Come on, let's go. What the? Why is there a body in here? This isn't the cup.
Der ist ein bisschen dizzy unterwegs.
You're not looking so hot, man.
Aber denen geht's prima.
Yagami, you're never gonna last if you keep taking cases like this. Criminal suits are a constant test of your conviction, your sense of justice. They don't even pay that well. Look, just chill out, okay? Take it from me. I've been around the block way longer than you have.
This is the right floor, yeah? The skyway will take us to the research room.
Komm, schnell in einen Rollstuhl rein. Da seid ihr noch schneller als wie der hier rumwankt.
Kuroiwa-san is the one who'll suffer for it?
If he's really not guilty, he won't have to. I'll win. But to be perfectly honest, this is my first criminal case.
What?
Civil cases have been a mixed bag for me, too. I've actually lost more than I've won.
Is that so?
Apparently, a smart lawyer would never even consider an innocent plea in this case. Guess it's a good thing that I'm not so smart then, because I honestly believe I can win.
Please, Yagami-san. You need to help Okubo-kun. And my brother, too. He's stubborn, but he means well.
Yagami-san. Just now, I heard Emmy talking to me. It felt too real to just be my imagination. Did you notice anything?
I can tell you all about it later. We've got work to do.
Huh?
It's time we stop Kuroiwa once and for all.
Right. Huh. Whatever that fog over you was. Use the keycard. You know? This is where Shono is, right?
If he hasn't been evacuated. His laboratory is just down this hallway.
Meaning, Kuroi was waiting for us.
Probably.
Yagami-san.
Shono.
Kuroiwa. You just can't help but get in my way. Huh, Yagami?
Put the gun down. Getting revenge isn't gonna do you any good. You should recognize it's all over by now.
Revenge? That's not what I'm here for. This rat comes with me.
What?
Drop it!
Yagami-san! Yagami-san. I think he got me.
Sakura!
Just hang in there. I'll make sure you get some help.
And what about you?
Me and Kuroiwa are gonna settle this once and for all.
That's fine. Don't try and rush, just hit him once for me.
Als würde er das nicht hören. Also wenn die sich da unterhalten.
We're here to rescue you, Shono. Not that I want to. take care of him, okay?
Yes, I can do that.
Na toll.
Give it up. You're finished, Kuroiwa.
You're wrong. This isn't the end!
What do you mean?
I have 89! As long as it exists, I will never surrender.
Explain yourself. You told me that you were gonna keep Shono alive.
Yeah. Shono and I, we're going to finish 89 together. I assure you he wants the same thing. That's how we'll be saved. Both of us.
You really so sure you can accomplish that?
Yeah, I'm sure of it!
I'll show you. Just you wait. We're going to finish. No matter how many test subjects it takes us to complete it. As long as we complete the cure, Shono and I will be praised as heroes.
You're insane.
In that case, you can be our first subject in a long while. And when you die, which of course you will,
I'll gouge out your eyes!
Puh, halbe Sandwiches.
Let's go then!
Und das ohne ein Sandwich zu nehmen. Ach nee, hör doch auf. Das hat er ja jetzt gelangt, oder ne? Oh nein, hör doch auf, ey. Natürlich. God save the Papierkorb, the rubbish. Oh, die sind alle bitte mitgenommen aus.
Yo. Look who went and made a new friend.
They, agreed not to put us behind bars, at least for now. But we're gonna need a lawyer, though.
Yagami, son!
Shono.
Don't move! Drop the knife!
Just telling him to stop's not gonna do shit.
Oh no!
Ich hätte auch 2, 3 Kugeln gelangt, aber na gut. Geht mal lieber auf Nummer sicher.
Your little experiment game is finally over.
Yes. But I have no need for them anymore.
Huh?
What's that?
This? It's a dose of AD9. You see, I finally did it.
What are you doing?
AD9 is done now. Everything I have has gone into this one syringe. There's no mistaking it this time. Here's the proof. I'm going to show you once and for all. I'll prove that my miracle drug is a reality!
How many people has your miracle killed?
People. People? But it'll save millions, maybe tens of millions across the world.
That's why you thought it was okay to murder an innocent woman? Huh? Is that why you stabbed her to death and burned the evidence? Okubo-kun took the fall for all of it. You sent a good man to die!
I never wanted to kill anyone. But it had to happen for AD9. It was the only way to save all of them!
The toxin is irremovable. Use of AD9 will always result in death. Shono-kun told me as much. Countless human experiments led him to that conclusion. In other words, AD9's development has failed. But Shono-kun didn't want to admit that. He couldn't say that it was over, that he had killed several people, that it was all for naught.
And when exactly did Shono-san tell you all this?
Only the other day. It was after hearing that I decided to testify in this trial.
Save the world. That's your bullshit excuse, huh? I don't buy it. The reason you murdered Emi-chan was so you could save your own skin. If you really cared about helping people, you would have left your research to someone else instead of resorting to murder.
But AD9 is my drug. I'm the only one who could have finished it. And now I'll finally prove it. Prove that all my research was worth the effort. Prove that I was right to do what I did!
Wait!
For the longest time, my mother cared for both of my dementia-ridden grandparents. Once the disease had finally, mercifully taken them, my mother died, too. So you see, Alzheimer's has taken many loved ones away, even from me. But now, it won't be taking anyone else, ever again.
Der eine Schusswunde liegt die ganze Zeit schon.
All the time I spent developing AD9, every single minute of it has led to this moment. But
But why?
So that's why. I finally understand. When a patient is injected with AD9, they experience intense pain localized to the head, and their eyes become filled with a dark blue pigment. In the end, it's a gruesome death. As for the eyes, the toxins present in AD9 are what turns them blue. Shono-kun admitted as much. Had that been noticed, it would have been clear proof of the experiments. And hence, every single corpse discovered in Kamurocho was found with the eyes removed. Shono-kun disposed of them, all in an effort to hide the horrible truth of his failure.
Ah, deswegen fehlten bei Leichen überall die Augen. Das erklärt natürlich einiges. 10 Tage später Untersuchungshaft. Untersuchungshaft? Untersuchungshaft.
I can't thank you enough, Yagami-sensei.
Arigato.
Huh? That's soon.
It'll be nice to be out after all these years. The retrial for
Ach, Untersuchungsgefängnis von Tokio, Entschuldigung.
Well, that'll be more of a formality than anything. And don't worry. Nobody believes you killed Emi-chan anymore.
Right. You're already taking off?
Actually, I brought someone else who wants to talk to you today.
Huh? Fumiya-kun.
You can take it from here.
You're welcome to stick around, you know?
Nah.
Thanks for this, Yagami-san.
Auch kein Ding. Es war ja Zuckerschlecken. Aber auch kein langes Finale, auf jeden Fall nicht. Ganz kurz und knapp gehalten.
So Shono and Kuroiwa are both dead, huh? And Ichinose and Morita are behind bars.
Thanks to Yagami's agency, yes. Things may be somewhat hectic from now on, though. The health ministry is in turmoil, as is the ADDC.
Yes. The center will likely be shut down.
In the end, I suppose things worked out for Kajihira.
That's unacceptable.
Well, you're in luck, Saori-kun. Sounds like they're investigating his collusion with Minister Kazumi. The police are already on the case. Everyone tries, but you can't escape the law.
I suppose all bad deeds will come to light eventually.
Yeah, you got that right. Oh, and speaking of...
Yes?
I'm no senile old fool. Your little fling is clear as day.
Huh?
I'll have none of that in my office. Is that clear?
I had no idea, sir.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Well, you kids are all the same. Never listen to an old fart like me. So it's not like we're any better, huh? Always ignoring our elders. Right? Old friend?
You know, I really wouldn't mind you going back. I mean, back to being an attorney again. It's not like we got work coming in. Maybe I could find a job at another agency or something.
What are you talking about? I'm not gonna abandon our business like that, man.
But this is your chance to be an upstanding citizen again. Come on, man. You know how much of a gaping shithole this city is. Only a dumbass would be a detective here.
Well, thank you very much.
Kaito sounds right, though, you know? I mean, just think about it. People would line up just to have you represent them. It shouldn't even be a question.
You think so?
Of course I think so. Genda-sensei would love to have you back at his office. And, I'm sure Matsugane-san would agree with him.
Yep. She's right, man. Everything's led up to this point. It's like your story's circling back around. And there's this fancy French word. Starts with a D. This is your...
Your denouement?
That's it!
Would you two give it a rest? I quit. I'm not a lawyer anymore. I'm a detective. But funny enough, if I hadn't left Genda's, I never would have proven Okubo-kun innocent.
Well, yes, I suppose that's true.
Pretty damn ironic. It's been 3 years now, since I abandoned the truth and left my job as a lawyer. But it turned out that decision led me straight to the truth I tried to run away from. Guess it goes to show, you never know where your choices will take you. It's destiny. That's what you guys were saying just now, right? So, no matter what decisions you might make, what comes after matters most. The real important takeaway from all this is to never give up.
I guess.
By the way...
What is it?
I was just thinking about how I looked in that suit. I didn't really pull it off, did I? I knew it. That settles it. I'm never wearing a suit again. No way, no how. Hey, you know, now that's another plus of staying a detective.
Seriously?
Hello? Yagami Detective Agency. Huh? Your cat ran away and it still hasn't come home? What do you think this is, lady? A pet shop?
Oh yeah? We'll do it. Ask her some more about the cat.
But Yagami-kun...
Chaco. And she's 5? Just send us a picture, yeah? All right, time to get some catnip at Don Quixote!
Kaito-san. This is our first job in a while. Now let's go find that lady's cat.